Welcome to today's Bible study lesson, brought to you by Bay Branch Primitive Baptist Church in historic Claxton, Georgia. Each week we bring you a new lesson from the Scriptures, right here on this YouTube channel. Now, grab your Bible. Here's Pastor V. Vernon Eckleberry with today's message.
Greetings. The title of our lesson today is The Beginning and the End. The text is found in Revelation chapter 22, verse 13. I'd like for you to think about a situation in your life about which you might ask, how's it going to end? In our lesson today, we'll find that the answer isn't when or how, but who. Let's begin now reading Revelation 22, verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. We look first of all at those two words, I am. I am, Jesus says, like the Alpha and Omega, the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet. I am the beginning and the end. I am the first and the last. All three of these phrases proclaim the same truth in three different ways. Everything begins with Christ. Everything ends with Christ. That's the message here. And He is everything between the Alpha and the Omega. Revelation 1:8 ties all of these things together. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, which was, and which is to come. Secondly, we look at the application to the times during which John the Apostle wrote this book. This was a time of terrible persecution. John addresses his readers this way in Revelation 1:9, I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation. John was exiled to a little island called Patmos. Things looked hopeless for John and for the Christians back on the mainland. When or how, they would ask, is this going to end? Have you ever felt like that? Well, certainly those in John's day, suffering the great persecution under the heavy hand of Rome, must have wondered, how's this going to end? But there on that tiny island in the Aegean Sea, with the future uncertain, John hears exactly what he needed to hear. The best news possible. In Revelation 1:17, we read, these are the words of Jesus to him, fear not, I am the first and the last. Thirdly, we look at the Christ of history. Chapter 1 of Revelation, verse 8 reads, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. When the world's history began, I am which was, Jesus says. I was there as the Alpha, as the beginning, as the first. And when the world's history ends, I'll be there. I am which is to come, the Omega, the end, the last. In Revelation 21:6, God announces the last day of this earth's history this way. Revelation 21:6, He said to me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Fourthly, we'll look at the book of history. In Revelation chapter 1, verse 11, Jesus tells John, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia. The 7 churches in the Mediterranean area would receive the book first, then it would spread throughout Europe, across the Channel, across the Atlantic, to these very shores. God gave John exactly what he and the persecuted Christians of his day needed, and that is the end of the story. They knew something about the past. They certainly knew what was going on in the present, but the great mystery was, how is it going to end? In the book, John would write about the whole panorama of history as it pertains to the people of God. Verse 19 says it this way, "Write the things which thou hast seen," the Lord tells John, "and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter." And God would show John those very things to go in this book of history. John, when you write about the things that already were, write about me. I am the Alpha, the beginning, the first. John, when you write about the things as they are, write about me. I am everything that's between the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And when you write about things to come, write about me. I am Omega. I am the end. I am the last. Well, John did, of course, and we hold that book in our hands today. Fifthly, we'll look at the application to your life and mine. There was another time when God's people were in trouble during the Old Testament days, when the outcome was in doubt. It was a time of the Babylonian captivities, and things couldn't have looked worse for the Jews who were taken into exile. But God reminds them of past deliverances and says through Isaiah, "Who has done such mighty deeds, summoning each new generation from the beginning of time? It is I, the Lord, the first and last, I alone am He." Who is the one that began the generations of men? Who is the one that will be there on the world's last day? I alone am He, the first and the last. And so it is with your life. God is the first page of your life, the last page of your life, and God is all the pages in between. Through all your hopes and dreams and disappointments and happy endings and likes and dislikes, ups and downs, failures and successes, in all of these, God is the beginning. He's there now. He'll be there at the end. So to answer the question, how's it going to end? Jesus' answer is, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, in your life and mine. And now, may God be with you till we meet again.